Okay. Right. So the time has come. It's the month again.
It's the time of the month.
Yes. Not that time of the month, but it's the time of the month, that everybody's been looking forward to. Yes?
Yeah.
Yes? I mean, I'm always aware of a lot of people talking about, Ramadan. Sometimes like, for the month comes kan, you'll have like people saying macam,
One more week, 2 more weeks.
2 more weeks, 2 more months, 2 more months pula, 2 more days gitu kan. Macam there's a sense of I won't say apprehension, but macam rush, like a worry. Do you get that?
Personally, I didn't used to, but then recently, I guess, like, dah nak Ramadan, lagi 1 minggu, or lagi 2 minggu dah nak Ramadan. It's because like, some of the elderly around me, in our class, like our, right? They always remind us, like, before Ramadan, you must prepare everything so that during Ramadan, you tak disibukkan oleh, like, macam, what to eat, what to cook.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially, you know what? Baju raya. There's always those things. But I never get that out of the way. I selalu macam, when it comes to, like, Hari Raya clothes, right? It's very true for you or the kids, for the whole family. And people were saying, like, kan lagi bagus kalau nak cepat kan. Like, you do it before Ramadan. So you don't
never
have to
get
bother.
to it. During Ramadan,
never get to do it. Yeah.
Few days or rather a week or so, right? Then like, alamak, then cari online or something, right?
At first, and the funny thing is, especially when it comes to baju, right? You would think like macam, the first 2 weeks of Ramadan tu, like, tak apalah, apa-apa yang boleh lah, apa-apa yang boleh. Masih ada baju
raya,
before,
right?
masa for raya.
Can recycle.
Can recycle lah, apa yang ada. But then nanti like the last week of Ramadan, tiba-tiba macam panic.
Like you'll be like,
you know what?
New lah.
Yeah. Maybe if we wear yellow this year, we'll be
I know.
like
I'm with you on that. But back to the worrying about, like, Ramadan's coming, lagi 1 minggu, lagi 2 minggu, right? I think it makes a lot of sense to kind of like, not say panic or lah. I think the concern is about, like, is everything prepared? Like, macam, the advice I got, like, think about making food simple. Ensure that your house dah macam
pretty much clean.
Yeah, ready for Raya if possible. So that during Ramadan, you can focus on the
ibadah.
Those are the advice from those makcik-makcik.
Especially,
which I really like, macam salute, because they tell me, Rozi, makcik, langsir semua dah siap. But it's not because they are like looking forward to Raya without thinking of Ramadan. Dia nak siapkan untuk Raya because in Ramadan they don't want to think.
They want to just focus on the month, on their ibadah, on their amanats. They don't want to let which is something that I guess even a lot of people, especially of age, they would go like, don't waste this Ramadan, because I think the saying is, you'll never know when will be the next. And this is really macam an opportunity for all of us to really go back down to basics and really think about how much better we can be as humans, as Muslims, as ummas, like to really kan macam but utilize this time to really think about those things kan, as opposed to wearing yellow for right?
I guess last time before maybe zaman jahiliyah. Really like macam Ramadan coming, then dah fikir pasal Raya. Then berapa set and all that.
You would completely like you will oversee the Ramadan part. You're like, okay, it's another 30 days of not eating, not drinking and whatever, but like the one that you're looking forward to is actually Shawwal, kan?
Yeah.
And what people say macam, like Shawwal tu is like how to say macam
celebration,
the celebration and a reward for your 30 days of fasting.
And then our non-Muslim friends very cute. They always think like, Rozi, so your fast 30 days so you celebrate 30 days also.
I've heard of that.
And they also think that our Hari Raya is our New Year.
Yes,
then they wish us Happy New Year.
It's actually very cute lah. How they would see. But then a lot of influencers, I would say macam like those people who are non-Muslims but have quite a following on social media, and they can try. They're actually like, I'm trying to fast for the day. I'm trying to see what it's like. And I think that's nice because macam it brings empathy into the picture juga kan. Because there will always be boggling questions. Sometimes we're still bothered by those questions. Like kelakar tu, macam people will ask like, kau tak penat ke? Kau tak lapar ke? Kau tak... And this coming from our non-Muslims, which you know that it's coming from a place of concern. But at the same time, I'm like, I've been doing this for 30 years of my life.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay, I'm fine. Can I eat in front of you? Is it okay if I eat in front of you? Yeah, it's okay.
You cannot even drink plain water also cannot.
Really cannot, really. But it's amazing. I mean, like, for me, dulu when we were younger, priorities lain sikit. And then when we get older, priorities pun ubah, right? But how about work? How about work for you? I mean, for you kan quite flexible because you're an agent. So, you're agent. Macam benda punya agent, detective tau. No.
Yeah. So in general, we consciously, most of us, the Malay Muslim agents, I think consciously would want to slow down a bit.
Okay.
And also for us whose clientele are largely Malays, Muslims, you'll be lesser volume during the month of Ramadan lah. But tak juga actually sometimes because they already sold like their houses before Ramadan. So during Ramadan is the time to search for houses to buy.
Yeah. So nak cakap susah juga lah. You want to like plan like that.
Yeah. But Alhamdulillah, I think on a year-to-year basis, right, we consciously, like I said, try to work lesser. Like my team and I, we don't like do road shows. We don't like ramp up on our activities, like our marketing activities, because Ramadan we want to focus on like, achieving other things.
Yeah. Like this year, but this year for me was a bit different now because for the first time I hosted, the Surya, this one show called Honor Ramadan, and I'm hosting for it. And I thought everything was going to happen before Ramadan.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, the time doesn't allow it, kan? So it kind of spilled over to Ramadan as well. So I'm in the process of like, talking a lot in a day. For Honor Ramadan.
But it's meaningful talk.
Yeah, it's meaningful talk. Yeah, I mean, it's meaningful talks. It's also like, other than that, it's also going to different places of business, surprisingly, I found it like, okay. Like, macam, somehow or other, because you know that you're not distracted by food or drink, even the thought of it, kan? Because all you know is like, I need to work, I need to do this. Somehow or other, like, memorizing the script also seems to
become
easier.
Right.
So I guess that's one of the blessings. Yeah. Which is completely different from when I was flying, So you know that I was flying rescue for 6 years, right, last time. And during Ramadan, right, it was very interesting because it's always a puzzling situation. And I think a lot of people also used to ask, like, how you fast during Ramadan?
Because of the time zone, right? When you
the time zone, it depends on when you started, like from Singapore, what time.
Correct.
And then what time you reach there.
Yeah. So how?
Yeah, so how we did it before was like, macam, it will be dependent lah, kan? Like, okay, if let's just say memang I left Singapore after dah sahur semua, kan, I will keep my fast all the way until, let's just say, kalau if it's a very far location.
Yeah.
If it's a very far location, then
like Singapore dah buka.
Right. Yeah, but I don't follow Singapore time. Okay. I will try my best to still follow wherever that I'm going to time. Right. But also depends because once we cross a certain part, then the sun would have already.
Correct.
So then we need the help of our pilots and all those things. Like we'll be like, hey, you know what? Has the sun gone down and all those things? And then they will be like, hey, okay, fast already. I can break fast and break fast already. Sometimes that's the situation lah. Okay. But most of the time, especially when you have macam shorter flights, kan, you still balik Singapore the same time apa. So kira-kira, let's say if my flight is to like Bangkok, and then from Bangkok it's just a turn. So from Bangkok back to Singapore. Yeah. Okay lah.
That's okay.
Come back already. I know when to to break my fast lah. Yeah. So that's interesting. Like macam, but I always remember the feeling now because like sometimes you have other Muslim crew on flight, kan, and it feels very family.
When I was traveling on the job, it's always like a very lonely thing. Yeah. So it's not like macam there's a community. It's always just me, translator, and that's it. The rest are non-Muslims.
Yeah. Actually, whatever practice that we did right on board, right, it's just like passed down from the seniors. It's like, honestly, the truth is I have no idea what's the hukum. All I know is I'm trying my best. So when situations permit for me to fast a full day, no hal lah. But when the situation is a bit weird, then I just have to take into consideration lah. If I did manage that fast, inshallah, it's accepted. Yeah. But if I didn't, I will just pay back.
It'd be interesting to invite someone to
talk about that. That'll be interesting. Yeah. Unfortunately, the difference this time round, macam this year pula, when I think about Ramadan, the only thing I can think about our brothers and sisters in Palestine, and in Gaza specifically. Like, I think macam the funny thing is like you know about their plight, and every Ramadan actually is always the same thing for the past few years. It's always the same thing. You hear about like, they stop fighting. They stop fighting, for example, so people can have their Ramadan in peace for that matter. But this time round, it's like, and I cannot because I think the other day, like I saw photos of kids like eating leaves. Like the that smile that he had lah when the guy taking the video was saying macam, hey, this is not food. This is not food. It's not what you think it is. And he goes, no, can. I can just fry this and eat it because he's so hungry. And they are so hungry. People are dying of malnutrition. And here we are talking about what's our meal prep. You know what I mean? Sometimes to a certain extent, I mean, I know that everything. Look, I mean, even to the point of us even creating this podcast, right? For me, is the ability to use this opportunity to reflect and introspect. And I think this is something that we are doing most of the time, like, you know, with our episodes, macam just to like think of a situation and think how that affects us and how we can do better, right? And I think our hope is also that people who are hearing this will also take this opportunity to also do their own introspection, their own reflection.
Yeah.
And when I'm thinking of these children and I'm thinking of their situation, sometimes I can't help but be either super bersyukur with everything that we have been blessed with, and then also feel super unfair, like I have this and you don't. And sometimes this is something that I guess I'm battling with all the time. So macam when it comes to, especially in this Ramadan too, this is something that I cannot, I'm still trying to macam
grapple with.
yeah.
For me, it's I don't know how to describe it. Like, you know, we know that's happening to our fellow Muslim brothers and sisters and the children out there.
Yeah.
And then to me, I don't think it'll be any different for them because it's like they are already
in a state
of Ramadan like throughout, you know. Yeah. And I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I mean, this is like really the lowest of iman probably, to like just, can I not think about it, you know? But of course you keep on thinking about it.
I think what we do is, I mean, the best thing that we can do is always make dua for them. I mean, that's the only thing.
And contributions
as much as we can.
Yeah.
As long as we know that we're helping, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Inshallah. We just hope that all our brothers and sisters in Palestine, inshallah, one day will be
Back to
given
normal again. Yeah.
peace again. Yeah. So anyway, have you ever came across any like macam during fasting, especially, like, you know, like during the month of Ramadan is the month where suddenly like everything might trigger you. Have you ever had that? Like macam, like it could be like something someone said, you know, I mean, you're being tested lah technically. I mean, during the month of Ramadan, sometimes we come into a situation where we're like being tested without realizing lah, obviously. Like someone say something and you're like, either at work or anyway, your neighbor or something. Have you ever come across that?
I think in the last few years, not that I can remember, because like I mentioned, in my nature of job, in Ramadan, you consciously want to shut down a lot of things. So you want to be home more. Yeah, and then it's my practice or my family's practice not to book outside that much. So we don't like to book outside. So it's like you really, like, you know, sanction yourself away from people and activities. Yeah. I guess triggered like get angry.
I mean, like triggered more like macam annoyed lah. Like macam maybe for example, someone who seems to be very ignorant. Like could be. I'm just for an example, like you faced with a workmate who seems to be very ignorant of people who was fasting or anything. Have you ever came across something like that? Any ignorance on that front?
I mean, okay, ignorant as in like we're fasting and they eat in front of us. That kind.
No, that one we don't care.
That one we don't care. But it's interesting that I mean, I do know. I mean, okay, non-Muslims friends, they're always like very, very apologetic, right? Sorry, you're fasting. I didn't know. Then we go like, it's okay, right? Because honestly, I mean, when they are eating or drinking,
it doesn't affect us like the way they think it does. Which is actually quite cute also now, because they really show concern. But at the same time also, like, probably this is also like maybe like a PSA lah to all of our non-Muslim friends, that it's okay if you want to eat and drink in front of us. It's fine. We're cool. We chill. No issue. Anything that you missed, like, you know, in the month of Ramadan?
Of course, I miss sahur with my mom, with my family. Now that we're living on our own, right? Yeah, my mom kalau sahur, right, mesti kena nasi. So she will have lauk. Sometimes she will have like a tam, udang and all that. So before we had before I had a child, and my
Nasu.
before my sister had her kids. So weekends we were balik rumah my mom, and there were enough rooms for us. So she would cook for us lah. Like macam masa dulu lah. But on our own now, I thank Allah for having a husband who's not fussy about sahur. Sahur is like macam biskut ke roti ke leftovers ke cereals.
Moment kan.
Correct. But for buka, I mean we do make it a point to prepare something, right? But my family kalau buka tak boleh nasi. Sahur is nasi. Some families I heard terbalik. Like buka mesti nasi. And then sahur cannot nasi. How about your family?
No, like for me, I guess although I come from that family that believes in the same concept, like macam mesti makan padat, like you have to have proper meals, like nasi and everything in the morning. Personally, I cannot eat too much in the morning. So I end up eating cereal. So unfortunately, I'm the party pooper lah. Everybody's eating like all these things, and here I am like cereal because I cannot eat more in the morning lah. Macam perut tak sedap.
So when my mom prepare lauk tu semua, I will eat, but not so much lah. But some of us can really makan.
But I always remember like macam when I was younger, right, especially during Ramadan, and especially if it falls on school holidays, I would love it because my cousins will all come and we will all like stay together at my late grandmother's house. And then nanti macam tidur sesama, bangun sesama, sahur sesama, buka sesama. And then like we were in the middle of the day too. I can imagine we are running, playing, all kinds of things. Because there's this, my house last time, there is this place called Hujung. The Hujung is just basically the end, the lift landing lah. Like the
very lapang.
It's very lapang. So we will all go there, do all kinds of things. Cycle, rollerblade, you name it lah. Okay, and I remember there was never a time you would like just like I'm so tired, so hungry, that kind of thing. Like I remember we were like still running, and suddenly my grandmother would be like, hey, dah nak buka. And then we're like, oh, okay, coming back, And then thinking about that, right, as when kids, right, now that we have kids, right, did you have any trouble having Khadijah, having her start practicing fasting and all that?
She has been doing half a day during her kindergarten days. So this year she said she wants to try full day. But then I don't know. I feel like she's too young. Small and like
but you know, don't be surprised. Like I started fasting when I was 5.
Really?
Yeah, it was just random because
I can't remember I started.
When you started, why I remembered how I know is because when my mom, I remembered that the first day it happened, like it was the first day of Ramadan. I woke up because my mom, everyone was everyone was having sahur, right? Then I woke up and I'm like, Ma, can I have fast? And then my mom was like, same thing. I was a very small, tiny girl who hardly ate. And then she's like, and I think that was the one that helped lah. Maybe at that time I'm like, I don't have to eat or something. And the fact that I lasted, like made me think like actually like here we are, because I'm always worried about that. Like macam my kids also half day already. Okay. So like now they both want to do full day, right? Actually not like they want to do lah. We are actually telling them to do it lah. So like now that both of them will start on full day, I always wondering like macam boleh ke?
I don't
can
remember.
Last ke?
I don't remember which age I started, but I remember I want to pause full when I started. Right, I wanted to pause full, and I will feel very like unhappy if any of the days I like like terminum or last,
There used to be like this joke. Apa dia kata, apa periuk, buka periuk. Does anybody remembers? Puasa yo-yo. Pagi-pagi buka periuk kan?
Something like that. I didn't know that, like, in primary school, right? Got water cooler, right? So go water cooler, then when you're caught at the water cooler, then oh no, I'm just gargling my mouth. Then we're like, okay, are you sure you are doing that?
That's true. But I mean, I guess like this time is different lah. This time is different because like really the kids are also trying. And I'm really hoping that they will understand, because it's not about just, I mean, there's one thing to teach our children to fast, right? It's another for them to the meaning of fasting. What exactly are we trying to incorporate? What exactly we're trying to do? But the truth is, right, we're talking about Ramadan and all that, right? What was the most memorable Ramadan for you? What would it be?
Most memorable.
Yeah.
You go first.
Okay, I go first. Okay. I go first. And I'm like totally being honest right now. The most memorable Ramadan for me was actually during COVID, during the circuit breaker.
Oh.
It was one of the most memorable, I feel also the most impactful Ramadan for us as a family.
Yeah.
Because that time, I think we just moved. We haven't bought a house during that time, right?
Okay.
So we were always renting. And then during that time, we rented at Yishun, like one of these condos in Yishun Tau. And it was only shortly after. We only moved in like the year before, like October, not so lah. We came back about November, December like that. And then shortly after COVID happened, and then after that circuit breaker, right? So it was like us experiencing like being stuck in this house because we cannot go out and do anything together. We couldn't shoot. We couldn't do anything. I mean, they stopped everything, right? Do you remember that? And then I remembered at that very moment in time, even Helmi was doing Lala Move.
Sure.
Because there was what other ways were there to earn? And I heard like a lot of people who are out there doing Grab and doing as much as they can, is like whatever they could do to get by. And then that was also the month that I've never cooked every single day. And that was the month that I was experimenting, like for sahur for buka. One of the most, for me lah, the most remarkable thing about that month was that it was the first month ever that me and my husband tarawih together every day.
Right. Oh. Okay, may this Ramadan you get to do that too, inshallah.
But it's just that, when we tarawih, I mean, we go to masjid and all that, right? But you do it, I don't know, for me, it's our first time doing it together. And like, and every day, we could do that every day because the situation allowed us to. So although, I mean, it was a huge reflection on my end because in such a dire time,
situation,
like things were just going south, right?
Yeah.
That this was such a blessing that was actually given to all of us.
Yeah.
And whether we actually took the moment to appreciate it.
Yeah. And to make the best out of it, right? Yeah.
I think that was for me the most impactful Ramadan.
Okay.
I forgot I have mascara on.
So you still okay?
Is it okay?
Yes.
Oh, mashallah, I forgot.
No, never smash.
Huh?
Never smash.
Batal bos dia.
Tak batal apa? Baik, yeah lah. But technically, yeah. So
This Ramadan can still do it, huh?
Yeah. Hopefully. I mean, this time round, we are not, if you think about it, right? Like, we have opportunities now, like for this Ramadan, to go out, apa? So that could be, it's a choice. Like now, we're not bounded. So we will do it lah. We go out, or we like, makan together outside, or like this and that. But that moment, I still remember, is that moment like after Isha, and then we will have the kids in a tent. We will turn on the lights. We will turn on we had a tent lah, and then we just put them because we need them to keep quiet, right?
Yeah.
And then we will turn on the fairy lights. And
keep them busy and occupied.
Everything was like dark and very quiet and just very serene. And then we have tarawih together, and it became like every day, and it was just so fulfilling. Like that feeling of like macam is different. It's so different, and I think to me it's something that we don't realize. A lot of people, like I said lah, all the older generation will be like, you don't know this will be your last Ramadan.
Yeah.
You don't know when is your next Ramadan. And the worst is you won't know whether you will still have the next Ramadan with your loved ones.
Yeah.
So it's those things that I guess impacts you.
Okay.
I think you need to talk now because I'm just gonna cry non-stop.
Okay. I mean, very nice sharing you've got there. For me, I guess alhamdulillah, like praying together with my husband, like subuh, maghrib, is kind of like almost an everyday thing. Alhamdulillah, we try our very best. Most memorable, I think ever since I found a teacher, Murshid, right? I feel that the Ramadan gets better, alhamdulillah. Yeah, because it's well guided, and we are
It's true.
yeah, we are reminded, like, of what to do and how to, like, make this Ramadan be better than the previous Ramadan.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and like you mentioned, like, we are always reminded, like, it may be your last, right? Yeah. So, but the COVID thing that you're sharing, yeah, it's true. I mean, it binded, I think, most of us. Like, more.
Bonded a lot of us.
Yeah, and
during that time.
yeah, so that's why, like, to me, when I talk to friends, I tell them that, this month of Ramadan, try to, like, really downplay other things. I mean, not that you want to, like, go slow on work and work just for ala kadar, but, like, really try to, be more focused on ibadah lah, right? Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. But that's the reminder to myself.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I think with everything that we always talk about, it's always a reminder to ourselves first.
Yeah. For those working office hours
Yeah.
and those who are employed, right? I guess it's a bit tougher.
Yeah.
Right, because they have to be in office during the period.
Yeah, correct.
And but some workplaces are very kind. They were like, since you skip your lunch, you can balik earlier.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So my mom, who's still working, she gets to go home earlier.
Yeah.
I think most of
Yesterday I thought about, like, I was talking about, like, as much as possible, like, during Ramadan you shouldn't talk so much lah, because you want to conserve your energy and all that, right? Suddenly I thought about, like, teachers. Wow.
Oh, still have to talk, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I know.
And, like, they have to talk to a lot of people every single day. It's part of their job.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? How do they? Wow.
When I was teaching,
else.
my first career, I was teacher,
Oh
right?
my gosh.
Yeah, when I was teaching during Ramadan, I tried to talk less. Just give them instructions. But I won't compromise on, like, the teaching part, of course. But just, find creative ways of teaching and engaging them with lesser of me talking. Teach through asking questions and make them think more and respond, during to written work and stuff. Yeah. So we've spoken a lot about Ramadan. I think there are a lot more things to talk about. But at the end of the day, we just hope that this Ramadan may be the best ever for all of us.
Yeah. I mean, for all our listeners out there, may this Ramadan bring a lot of barakah for you and your whole family. Always remember to treasure your family, especially during these times, because, like, we don't know whether it's our last time with them. Make the most out of it. And I guess, a lot of people will say, like, people always believe that Shawwal is the time where you minta maaf and all that. But I always believe that it's always better to
Before Ramadan.
right? So in that case, on that note, Samaraya, forgive me for calling me and all that before anything.
Forgive me for
and blessed Ramadan to you, babe.
I mean, to you too and your family. Replicate what you did in during COVID times.
Yes, inshallah.